Hello and welcome to another episode of LowEndBox TV. We are at the ultimate episode of our 6-part now tutorial on how to set up a highly available WordPress site. This is the moment of truth. We're going to see if everything we've done up to this point is really going to work. So if you're curious, or if this is the first video you're seeing, you really owe it to yourself to go back and watch the first one, because that kind of outlines what we're trying to accomplish here. But in a nutshell, we want a website that is highly available, so that if it's going to be a 2-node site, but if one node goes up in flames, the average user on the internet in his or her browser will keep accessing the site and will have no idea that anything changed. And these sites are going to be in bidirectional sync, both at the database level and at the file system level. So if we're adding blog posts or pages, we're uploading content, pictures or new themes or uploads or what have you, all of that stuff is in sync between the two sites. So we've made a ton of progress. We got both nodes configured. We got the databases in sync using MariaDB's multi-master replication. We've got DRBD set up, so we've got a volume on each side that's in sync, and we put Oracle Cluster file system on top of that. And we mounted those up, and we saw that we made changes on one side, and no matter what we did, it was in sync on both sides. So now the only thing that we've got left to do is to configure round robin DNS. Then we want to configure Let's Encrypt so that this is fully HTTPS, and then we're going to run some tests where we nuke one side and see what happens. All right, so the first thing we want to do is set up our DNS so that we've got round robin DNS working. And I'm logged into Porkbun. That's where the lowend.party domain is registered. And I just wanted to show you here, this is how we've set it up. Now, obviously, I've got node 1 and node 2 are our 2 nodes, and I've got the A records for those. But I've also created an A record for the round robin DNS, and that's what's here at the bottom. Might look a little strange because it's 2 identical records with 2 different answers, but what will happen is that the DNS server will rotate between them as you query those. We'll show that. Now, the interface on your registrar, if you're using a different registrar, may look a little bit different. Sometimes they may actually allow you to set up a quote-unquote round robin DNS record, or sometimes you just enter multiple A records for the same answer, and that's how you get round robin DNS. Before we continue, I'd like to highlight one of our community advertisers. Hostsailor is a Dubai-based hosting provider that offers shared hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, and dedicated servers at aggressive prices. They offer a diversity of services in all of these market segments in an attempt to match the right product with the customer's needs, and everything they do is backed by an ironclad service level agreement. You can deploy their services in either the Netherlands or Romania. They accept many forms of payment, including Bitcoins and other forms of cryptocurrency. With VMs priced as low as $2 per month on an annual contract, it's worth your time to check out Hostsailor's offers on LowEndTalk or LowEndBox, or visit their site at hostsailor.com. Answer, and that's how you get round robin DNS. So we've got it set up here. Now let's go and see what DNS returns when we query it. Before we continue, I'd like to highlight one of our community advertisers. Hostsailor is a Dubai-based hosting provider that offers shared hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, and dedicated servers at aggressive prices. They offer a diversity of services in all of these market segments in an attempt to match the right product with the customer's needs, and everything they do is backed by an ironclad service level agreement. You can deploy their services in either the Netherlands or Romania. They accept many forms of payment, including Bitcoins and other forms of cryptocurrency. With VMs priced as low as $2 per month on an annual contract, it's worth your time to check out Hostsailor's offers on LowEndTalk or LowEndBox, or visit their site at hostsailor.com. All right, I've logged back into node 1, and we're going to run a DNS query just to see what we get back if we look up www.lowend.party. You may want to install the I've already done it, but the DNS utils package, your template may or may not come with it, but that gives you NS lookup, dig, and some other helpful tools. Let's do a NS lookup for www.lowend.party. And that's what we want to see. We've got the name is twice and two different answers. That's the query that your web browser will send, and that's the answer it'll get back. It'll get back both addresses, and that will tell the web browser, hey, I can go to either 4579.81.184 or 23.239.740, which is respectively node 1 and node 2.lowend.party. I can go to either one of those and get www.lowend.party. So your browser, and this has been true for several years now, your browser is smart enough to know that if it tries the first one and it times out or doesn't get a connection, it can go on to the second one. And it's smart enough to know that if it's talking to node 2 and node 2 stop responding, it can go to node 1. And of course, it's going to try whichever one. It's not always going to try node 1 first. In fact, I'm willing to bet if we do this query, no, actually, okay, it's just giving it the same one, the same response. But your browser will pick one of them based on some algorithm. It may very well just be a random choice, but it knows it has other addresses that it can go to. So we've got DNS set up correctly now. Now let's go and set up Let's Encrypt. I'm sure Let's Encrypt needs no explanation, but if you've never heard of it, you must have been living under a rock or something. It is a free SSL service that you can use to get free SSL certificates. And the product that we use, or the software package that we use, is called certbot, and we're going to install this on both nodes. So apt get install certbot, and we want Python certbot nginx. And there we go. So let's go get that going on node 2. Well, we say apt-get yes install certbot and Python certbot nginx. Typically, that's how you install certbot. You install the base certbot, and then obviously, if I was using Apache or something else, in fact, let's just show you here, apt-get search certbot. It has a wide variety of different things that it supports. So you can get the get this product set up pretty easily no matter what you're doing. Let's do apt-get yes install certbot Python certbot nginx. All right. So we've got that set up, and I'm going to stop nginx here on node 1. And I'm going to do a couple interesting things here. I'm going to go to Etsy. Now remember, we have this tremendously useful resource, which is this file system, dev DRBD 0, which is synchronized between both nodes. So whatever we put on that file system is synchronized to the other node, and it's bidirectional, which means that we can start moving like some common configuration files there, etc. And that's what we're going to take advantage of here. So I'm going to move both the Etsy nginx directory and the Etsy Let's Encrypt directory to /web. If I could spell it, I would. Etsy Let's Encrypt. So now on web, I have nginx and Let's Encrypt. And I'm going to link those back. So let's LNS web, that's linked with an S for symlink, web nginx to Etsy nginx, and LNS web, web Let's Encrypt. So my typing is so much more accurate when I can tab complete. There we go. All right, now on node 2, now remember, here I am on node 2, I can just go look in web, and I see Let's Encrypt and nginx, right? I go look at nginx, there's all that configuration. So here on node 2, I can go to Etsy and I can just blow away nginx and Let's Encrypt, and just link web nginx to Etsy nginx, and web Let's Encrypt to Etsy Let's Encrypt. Boom. All right, and now I can just restart nginx on this node. You probably should have stopped it first on that side. No worries though. Let's do a system control start Nginx on node 1. And then we can just go ahead and run Let's Encrypt certbot as usual. Now, just so you know, when I run certbot, it's going to be working with files in the etc Let's Encrypt directory. But of course, we've moved that to /web, which is synchronized on both sides, linked it back to the etc directory. So the certbot installer will actually be installing, in a sense, for both nodes simultaneously. So let's go certbot authenticator webroot installer nginx. Now the first time, that's interesting. Certbot authenticator webroot installer. Oh, that's because I meant to have that as a double dash. There we go. First time it's going to ask me for my email address, so I'm just going to type that in. I agree. I'm pretty sure they've already got my email address a million times over, so we'll say no. And I want to activate for that www.lowend.party, obtaining a new certificate, etc. And the webroot is web.www.lowend.party. Waiting for verification. So now it's talking to the certbot servers, asking it to grab a file. And cool. Let's see, do we want to redirect? Yeah, we will. The redirect means that if someone comes in and tries to access on port 80 for HTTP, it will automatically redirect them to HTTPS on port 443. So let's say yes, redirect. And we are now good to go. Now the interesting thing is that Let's Encrypt certificate's only good for 90 days. What should happen is that when it runs a hey, let's renew our certificate, it will go out, get the renewal, and it will, of course, be writing in the etc Let's Encrypt directory. So that renewal will work regardless of both nodes, or which node is doing it, or both nodes. Both nodes. What will probably happen is, if you think about this, node 1 will go and do the renewal, and then when node 2 comes along, certbot will say, nah, you've already renewed, it hasn't been 90 days yet. And so the next time maybe node 2 will be slightly faster. It kind of depends on which one gets that. It's not actually, it's a cron job, it's actually a systemd timer, similar thing. Whoever gets that run fastest will be the node that gets the honor of actually doing the encryption, or the renewal rather. All right, so we've got everything set up at this point, and now I think we're ready for the acid test. So let's switch over to our web browser. All right, I'm running Chrome on my Mac here at home, so let's see what happens when we go to lowend.party. All right, there's our website, and I'm reloading just to see if I get a different answer. I shouldn't. Okay, so at this point, of course, I have no way of knowing which node I'm going to. I'm actually logged in here as admin, but it doesn't really matter. Let's now switch back to our VPS, and we're going to shut down Nginx on node 1 and see what happens. So back on node 1, all I'm going to do here is just do a system control stop Nginx. And so now there is no web server running on node 1 over here on node 2, just to make sure we didn't, yeah, there we go. Okay, so it is running on node 2. Now let's go back to our browser and see how it responds. All right, my friends, we have reached the moment of truth. We're going to see if the last 5 parts of this tutorial and all of the parts we've done so far in this tutorial are about to either pay off or we're going to go down in flames. We're going to see if it works. Now, we've got node 1's Nginx shut down. We're going to be firing up, or we've got node 2 is up and running, and we fired up our browser here. This is Chrome on Mac OS. One thing, if you've been following along, you may have gone into your PC's etc hosts and manually mapped www.lowend.party or whatever domain you're using to a particular node. Well, obviously that's going to override anything in round robin DNS, so make sure you don't have anything in your local Etsy host or C Windows System32 drivers Etsy hosts to make sure that you're not defeating round robin DNS through the kind of setup work we did. So we've got Nginx is not running on node 1, it is running on node 2. Let's see what happens if we try to go to LowEnd party. Hey, look at that. So what happened under the covers is that Chrome got both DNS answers when it queried DNS and said, hey, where is this lowend.party domain? Actually, what it asked is, where is www.lowend.party? It got back 2 addresses, and it may have tried, let's make sure we didn't just get lucky. Okay, we're reloading several times here. It's going to try one. If it doesn't get a response, it will try the other. Now, we want to try it the other way. So let's go back to our terminal and flip hosts. All right, so right now we've got Nginx up and running on node 2. We're going to shut that down. System control, stop Nginx. It's no longer running on node 2, and it is not running right now on node 1. So let's go ahead and start it on node 1. All right, very good. Now let's go back to our browser and see if it works with only node 1 up. All right, moment of truth number 2. So this time we've got Nginx running on node 1, but node 2's Nginx is down. Let's see if this continues to work. Woohoo, it does. We are going here to https www.lowend.party, and it has continued to work. So we've run it with node 1 up, but node 2 down, node 2 up, but node 1 down, and of course we've run it with both up, and obviously if we had both down it would fail. So I think this is a successful test. Now, let's just put this in a larger context here. Is this a perfect HA solution? No, of course not. You could have a malfunctioning web browser that answers, but answers very slowly. Well, from the browser's perspective, that's working. You could also, have some sort of network issue at one of the 2. Let's say you had these in 2 different data centers. You could have a network issue at one data center where it really slows down the traffic, and boy, you'd really like everyone to go to the other data center. Well, this is not sophisticated enough to determine which website is, or which server is responding faster. But as a simple HA solution where you've got 2 servers that are in sync, we've shown that you can take one down and the other one keeps working, or the site keeps working. This is a pretty bulletproof solution. And to get, a lot of things with HA is that it's easy to get to 99%. I think with this, it's easy maybe to get to 99.9. If you want to get to 99 point, the 5 nines, right, or higher, then each additional 9 is substantially more expensive. Pretty soon you're into specialized load balancers, floating IPs, etc. And there certainly are hosts that support those type of solutions. But for just kind of a bog standard VPS or a couple low-end VPSs that you want to put together to have a high availability solution for your website, this is a great approach. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I've linked the post that we did on LowEndBox for this series below if you want to go and actually copy paste some of the commands or have a reference. You're welcome to do that. And I'd like to invite you to visit us on LowEndBox.com or LowEndTalk.com. We've got lots more technical content like this. We've got, of course, fantastic deals on hosting, the best deals in the industry, bar none. We've got interesting content and thinking from many industry leaders and very spirited discussion. So please come visit us. And if you like this video and you want to see more of this, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, happy hosting.